Shalom to Eli Beer, founder and president of United Hatzalah, who recovered from the coronavirus in Miami and is now back with us here in Israel. Shalom.
Shalom, Yoni. How are you? Good morning.
So first of all, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm really excited to be back in this country. More excited also to see my family, to talk on my own, to breathe on my own. It's really exciting.
Eli, what is your status in terms of the disease itself?
Well, I'm proud COVID-19 negative, which is maybe I'll buy a shirt. I got the Chinese fighting me and I won. I fought against the war. It was a war. It was a very long and aggressive war. Both sides. We were fighting and we were punching each other. Let me tell you that. These guys know how to punch. And before I flew back to Israel, I got tested a few times. So I have three tests, negative, which is great.
So when did this all start for you?
It's really interesting. I don't know where it started. I spend most of my life flying. I'm out of this country. I built United Hatzalah when I was very young, 16 years old. And it was small, 15 volunteers. Now it's 7,000 volunteers. And it's in many other countries too. So I was in India just 2.5 months ago. I was giving a TED talk there. And then I went to Los Angeles from there. I had an event there with honoring Sheldon and Miriam Edelson. And then I had another event in Miami, New York, and then I went to APAC, of course, like every other Jew in the world. So I was busy running around. APAC was over. I went to Miami. I had Purim there in Miami. I missed my kids a lot, so I told 2 of my kids to fly in from Israel to Miami. So I had a bar mitzvah in Miami the day after Purim, and I was in Miami in Purim. I went to shul, had a great time. I was feeling great. I dressed up as Superman. My kid dressed up as Superman, Superwoman, and it was really fun. And then the next day, I was in someone's house. I didn't feel so well. I checked myself, fever, and so I have some fever. So on that spot, I called Elal. I said, I'm getting my kids out of here. I sent my kids home in the last flight of Elal direct from Miami to Israel. And I went and I isolated myself in some apartment in Miami because I didn't want to risk anyone. And I, of course, didn't go to the bar mitzvah because I didn't want to risk anyone. And 3 days later, I still had fever. So I spoke to my doctors and my friends in Miami, and they all said, Ellie, go to the hospital. And that's what I did. I went to Miami University.
And when was it decided to intubate you?
So I arrived in Miami University. They checked me. They don't understand why I arrived. You know, okay, you have some fever maybe. I said, so they checked me and they took an X-ray of my chest. After they took the X-ray of my chest, I hear the doctor says, let's get him into the ICU. We have a bed. I said, what ICU? What are you talking about ICU? And I found myself in ICU in Miami University, which is a great hospital. But 3 days later, I'm still alive. I'm still talking in the ICU. The doctor says to the other doctor, we're putting him, you know what? We have to put him to sleep. They come over to me. They say, we're going to have to let you sign this document. We're putting you to sleep. We're going to have to intubate you, which means putting a tube in your chest for breathing, because my breathing was terrible. So I was intubated. I had to call my family before and say goodbye, love you, and I miss you. I'll be home soon, don't worry. And everyone was worried. I was worried. I know what intubating means. It's not a joke. And the doctor put me to sleep, and I was sure 2 or 3 days later they'll wake me up. And unfortunately not.
So Eli, when did you wake up?
So when I wake up, it's the first time I woke up was 18 days later. And they were fighting for me. These doctors, nurses were fighting for me. And I wake up 18 days later. I didn't know what was happening. About 2 hours I was up. But then they saw it's not good. My situation got worse. They put me back to sleep. And I heard the doctor saying to the other doctor, they might have to operate here to open because even the tube wouldn't be good enough. And that really freaked me out completely, and hearing that. So I got really, really worried, and I spoke to my wife. I think I was completely confused. That intubation, the last one, was a really serious battle. I was in a very bad situation.
So Eli Beer, you're with us here now. Thank God. What are your thoughts and conclusions, looking back and looking also ahead?
So my conclusions, first of all, that it's a terrible disease. It is a terrible disease, and whoever thinks it's not, which I'll tell you honestly, I thought it wouldn't be such a terrible disease. No one thought it would be such a terrible disease, but it's a very hard battle to fight because these Chinese, I remember when I was a kid, they used to build, copy like a radio cassette. 2 weeks later it would break. That's how I grew up. Chinese items are not so good. When they build now, they build strong items. So they build a strong, very strong virus. And this virus is very aggressive. And when it attacks you, it literally destroys your most of the problem is your chest, is really your breathing tool, your lungs. So I decided after I woke up, I got my life back. Really, Hashem really had Rahmanut on me. Hatzalah is my life. For 30 years, United Hatzalah is my life. I put it to build this organization. We treated over 5 million people. So many people were saved. So I promised one thing. Now that I'm back, I'm going to have a little more time that I'm going to put for my family, to give kids my attention I need to give them. But the second thing is I'm going to work harder to make sure more people are saved. Because I realize how it is. They were fighting for my life for a month and a half. United Hatzalah fights for a life in 90 seconds. So that's our job, 90 seconds to get to someone to save his life when he's choking. Think about it. I was choking. It took a month and a half to save me. A 5-year-old boy choking in a kindergarten takes 90 seconds to save. Same person, just different situations. So I'm going to put more time to build, more of my thoughts to build the future of United Hatzalah without me. Meaning, let United Hatzalah grow to the next leadership. And I can relax a little, but I'm going to put all my time for the rest of my life to make sure United Hatzalah grows and grows and saves more lives. And now that I'm alive, I have to thank God, Hashem, for this gift. And I really hope that I take this opportunity and live a good life.
Eli Beer, founder and president of United Hatzalah, thank you very much for joining us, and stay healthy.
Thank you so much. And I want to thank all my friends, the doctors, and everyone who helped me. I know a lot of people who listen to this show, who watch the show, are from Florida. The people from Florida are amazing. Dr. Joel Sandberg, who really took care of me personally every single day, and his wife Adele, and Dr. Miriam Adelson, and many others who really took a personal action in the community to make sure that I get out of there, not in a box. I get out of there like with my 2 legs, and that's what happened. So thank you, everyone in Florida. We love you.